Hello there. Today's episode is a very quick one. It is on sessions, but it's something you need to know. So there are four sessions, but three we pay attention to, and two that we really pay attention to. So there's Asia session. Oh. Asia. Wow, what is happening there? It's supposed to be a quick video. Asia session, London session. And New York session. You will want to note these down. So you're probably thinking, what the fuck are these sessions? Or you might already know, but I'm here to tell you. So these sessions are just sessions of when the market is open, and they are named after the main institution's time zone, if that makes sense. So there's each session can be different, and it's usually these two that are the best, depending on what pair you trade, but it can be that sometimes, but it's very rare. But you do need to pay attention to what times you are trading. So, because I've had questions like, when do I trade? When do I know when's the best time? Should I be on it all the time? No, you should not be on it all the time. You should, when you're learning, you should spend the most time you should ever spend on the charts is when you're learning. When you're trying to put the things you see in these videos and the things you see online into practice. That's when you should be spending the most time on the charts, where you're watching the videos, you're going over your notes, you're writing notes, you're looking for it on the chart, seeing if you understand it, seeing what works. But do not be on the chart trading all the time, because you'll just lose. Like in trading, less is more, and we'll go over that more on this. We'll go over the psychology aspect more. At the minute, you're just focusing on the basic fundamentals. So now you can see in front of you, it's not even, that's annoying. Now you can see in front of you some beautiful times of the sessions, or what I consider the times to be anyway. So Asia session, obviously I've put the US and UK times because some people from the US might watch. I think, I don't know. Depends. I think about one of years that's from the US, but right. So anyway, UK 12 a.m. until 9 a.m. So midnight until 9 in the morning. That's what time Asia session runs. Now for Asia, it's lower volatility. Usually, I can never spell in these videos. Usually consolidation. That is not how you spell consolidation. Low volatility, usually consolidation. Do not trade, or you are cooked, unless it is a JPY pair. So yeah, unless you're trading maybe a forex pair, like a JPY one, just don't trade Asia. Do not trade Asia session unless you're swing trading. Swing trading is just where it doesn't matter what time it is. You are on a really high time frame, and your setups take a couple of days, weeks, months to happen, because then the timing doesn't matter. But if you're just day trading normally, do not trade Asia. Don't be sat there at 12 o'clock at night or 6 in the morning trying to put buys and sells on, or get a job. London session is a bit better. It opens at 8 a.m. until 5 a.m. UK time, 3 a.m. till 12 US time. London session though, the first hour is usually quite dead, and London can be bad, but it can also be really good. But most of the time it's just meh. depending on what pair. So any pairs or any Euro pairs or anything European. Anything European London session you can trade in. I'm not saying it's the best to trade it in, but London session you can get away with trading it in. As for NQ, which is I trade, I do sometimes take setups in London session, but in my rules it's got to be like a really good setup for me to trade, because the price action usually isn't there. Because you can trade NQ in London, but it depends. Only sometimes you can trade it. You'll be able to spot a good setup from a bad after they've lost, because I see some setups in London that work really well, look like they're going to work really well, and then they just lose. And then I have some setups that are A+ that I take in London, and it's an unreal setup. But any European pairs, yeah, fine to trade London. Any like gold, NQ, anything like that, then I wouldn't recommend trading London unless you are an experienced trader. But this does have higher volatility. So now for New York session. Those of you who have been around the block may notice that I've got 2:30 or 9:30 a.m. as my opening time, not 1 o'clock or 1:30, which is what time New York does open for Forex and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure. But New York session, anything before 2:30, I consider it pre-market, because the actual stock market opens at 2:30, so that's when the volatility gets kicking, and there is obviously an overlap between. If you look at the US times, it might be easier, but there's an overlap in between London and New York, which is in between. When's it in between? Yeah, so 2:30 until 5 o'clock. But yeah, I think I got the timings wrong there. But I think it closes at 5, not 4 US time, and 10. But you don't really want to be taking setups at that time anyway. That's why I don't know, because I'm not taking setups at an hour before market close. So the main time you want to take setups, especially on pairs like NQ, but I think this goes for any pair that involves the US dollar, so Euro USD, gold, obviously when you go to futures NQ or indices, NAS, the golden hour is, this is what time I trade in between. I'd say, yeah, that them times UK, so that would be they're the UK times, so US would be, what would it, that's 9:30 a.m. until that's 11, isn't it? Yeah, that's 11:30 a.m. and obviously UK they are PM. That is the best time to trade in my opinion. So 2:30 until that's if there's no news, by the way, because there could be news earlier, but we'll do a separate quick video on news. But yeah, this is the best time to trade in my opinion. Obviously you can trade other times, but from my personal experience, especially on NQ, which is what I trade NQ on, this is by far the best time to trade. And yeah, New York can be split up into two sessions. New York AM, which is up until, I believe, is it 12 o'clock US time, which is 5 o'clock UK time, I think. Yeah, something like that. And then New York PM starts, there's an hour lunch. There's lunch hour, which is 5 until 6 UK time, 12 to 1 US time. And then at 1 o'clock US time, so 6 o'clock UK time, New York PM opens, which in bad conditions like there has been recently, you can take New York PM's fine to trade. Sometimes it's better. But yeah, that is my favourite time to trade, to be honest. New York AM in between there, but yeah, it all depends on what pair you are trading. But most of your setups probably will be in New York session, and especially in this window here, because that's a very volatile window most of the time. This video was supposed to be like 5 minutes, and it's ended up being really long because I forgot like how important the information is when you're new. So yeah, but there's one more thing I've got to add to it. But all these like beginner concepts, it's quite hard for me to teach because you get to a point where it just becomes like second nature and your brain just does it like automatically. So like I don't really think about these too much. I can't explain. Obviously the times you're trading is important, but like say what time Asia session opens, what time it closes, what time New York actually closes. I knew it was around that time, but obviously I'm not really active on the charts an hour before market close because that's not when I'm looking for setups. This is when you want to be looking for setups if you're day trading. But to make life a little bit easier, if you go onto your TradingView chart, you should see this at the top. It says indicators. Go on indicators and type in sessions looks algo. Community. Oh yeah, go on community. Then sessions looks algo. This one, star it. Click the star, and you should get this horrific screen. And to edit it, all you need to do is go on, hover over it, turn it on and off, click the eye, and don't worry, it doesn't look like this. Let me just reset all my drawings. But this indicator just shows you the sessions. So you go on settings here, turn Sydney off because you don't really trade that. What else? Show daily divider, turn that off. And just edit your times. So for New York you do that. So then for London it says 7, but I'd say about 8. And then I only really look for setups in London like towards 8:45 till 9 o'clock if I am, and any time after 9. But so you can get setups like very early as well. But and then Tokyo there, and then it shows you the sessions. We're on the 4 hours, so it's not as clear. But let's go on there. Yeah, it shows you the sessions. So Tokyo session, London session, New York session. It shows you. So that makes life a lot easier. And you want to be trading in, obviously it's a no news Monday, so price action's really, really bad today. But you want to be trading in this little overlap here. 1630 I said, yeah. So around there, but obviously bad price action today is just consolidated, but that's the area where I usually look for a setup. But it could be before, it could be after, it depends on market conditions, but generally it's around that time if there's no news. So yeah, see you later.